Hello everyone, myself Shamali and I welcome you all to Analytics with Shamali. I was building a Power BI dashboard the other day and I had around 17 to 18 measures to create. First I started doing it manually, but after 5 measures I was like, come on, there has to be a better way. And you know what? It turns out there is. And I did it in less than 10 seconds. Yes, and that's what we are going to discuss today. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how you can create multiple measures plus how you can handle and avoid creation of duplicate measures. So without wasting much time, let's get into it. Before we jump into Power BI, let me show you how I plan my measures. I always start by listing down every single measure I'll need in my report along with the DAX calculation and the significance of the measure. I know it's a bit difficult to list down all the measures, but I do it as best as I can, and of course you can update this list anytime. So here I have total 18 measures, so things like sales, profit, orders, quantity and lot many things. So if you plan your measures like this, it saves you a lot of time back and forth, and simultaneously it gets you the documentation of your report as well. So it's one of the best practices to plan your measures before actually start working with Power BI. Once you have all the measures ready, let's go to Power BI. And first things first is we have to create a measures table. This is one of the best practices in Power BI to create a separate table for measures. So in a way, you organize all your measures in one place instead of scattering them across all the fact tables. So to do this, we'll go to table view and click on new table, and we create a table name measures table. Enter. So you see, along with my fact data, there is one more table created called as measures table, and for now you see there are no measures created. Now let's go to the star of today's session. We go to external tools and we find Tabular Editor 2 here. If you don't see Tabular Editor 2 here, you'll need to download and install it. I'll drop a link in the description. So it's completely free, but make sure to restart your Power BI once you download and install it. So let's open Tabular Editor 2 from here. It's going to open a separate window, and the name of the window, it tells us that it's connected to our local Power BI file. So think of it as a Power users backend for Power BI. So it lets you do things that Power BI simply doesn't allow natively. So the feature that we are going to use today is C# script editor. This lets us write the script and that directly manipulates our Power BI model. Now I'll just paste the script here and walk you through exactly what it is doing. So this is the script that we are going to use. So first of all, the code is going to grab the table that we have created. This is the same table where all the measures are going to get created. So it's important to create this table before writing the script. Secondly, I've created a dictionary here. So this dictionary, it's like this. So the name of the measure is on the left as a key, and the DAX calculation is on the right as a value. Now I have listed down all the measures in a key value format. So if you replace or if you add all the calculations that you have in this dictionary, and if you just run the script, then you should be good to go. But before that, the next part is the for each loop. This is where the measures are actually going to get created. So this for each loop, it calls this function add measure, and this function is going to create the measures in our Power BI file, and what this function is going to get, it's the key and value that we have in the dictionary. So as I said, the key is the name of the measure and the value is the DAX expression for that measure. And lastly, there is one more section where we actually format the measure. Like if the measure it contains a percentage symbol, then the code is going to format it as a percentage. If it contains sales or profit, revenue, then it's going to format it as a currency. And for rest of the calculation, if it doesn't contain sales or percentage, then it's going to format them as numbers. Now let's run this script and see what it does. I'll click on run script, and so it executed successfully and it says 51 model changes, but I don't see any measures here because we haven't saved this tabular editor. So I'll click Ctrl and S. So it saves the file, and once the okay, so there is an error. Let's look at the error that we got. The error is in the previous year. So we got this error because the measure cannot find the date table. So let's create a date table. I have a query ready for all the columns that we generally need while working with dates. So what we'll do, we'll just paste the query in the query editor, and we should be good to go. Okay, so this is the query for the date table. Let's rename the table to match whatever we have referenced in our measures. Click on close and apply. It's going to take a couple of seconds. It's not much because the data is for only 1 year. Okay, so we have the data ready, and let's check if the Power BI figured out the relationship. No. So what we'll do is we'll create a relationship between order date and the date table. It's going to validate. So order date from sales table and date from date table, many to one single, save. So we have our relationship here, and the measures are also looking fine. Let's see if we get correct results. So that's how you create bulk measures within Power BI, and all you need is the list of your measures. What if I accidentally, if I just execute it again, then ideally it shouldn't create the measures again, but it did create 51 changes, and for now I don't see it here, but if I just save the tabular editor, then it created a duplicate measure with suffix as 1. If I run it again, if I just save it, it's going to create the set of duplicate measures. And we of course never want this to happen, but in a case if you come across this situation, we also have a solution for that as well. What we'll do is we'll update this for each loop a little bit like this. So it's similar to what we had before. The only change it is doing is it's checking if the measure that the code is trying to create, if it's already existing, then it's not going to create the same measure again, and if it doesn't exist, then it will continue with the for each loop. And this section is similar to what we had before. Now if I execute it now, it says script executed successfully but zero model change. Now let's focus on this section. We executed the script 3 times, so we have one set of original measures and 2 sets of duplicate measures. If I just save this file, and then ideally we shouldn't get one more set of duplicate measures, so I'll click Ctrl plus S, and let's notice if it's creating another set. It's not. So that means our script is working, and it's not going to create another set of duplicate measures. Let's try it again. Control S. And no, it's not creating any more duplicate measures. But we already have 2 sets of duplicate measures, so the damage is already done. But to delete these measures, there is one more solution, and wherein you can delete the duplicates or delete bulk delete measures. All these things you can do with the same or similar script. So again, I'll just paste this script here and then walk you through what exactly it is doing. This is the script we are going to use to delete the duplicate measures. Now what it is doing is, it is first referencing to our measures table, then it is creating a list of measures, list of duplicate measures. Now if we go back to our data model, every duplicate measure, it has this format of first the name of the measure, then space, and then number. So similar thing, this the regex.isMatch, it checks if the measure is in this format, like name of the measure and then space and then number. If the measure matches this format, then it adds it to a list, and then we use a for each loop to loop through every element of this list, and then we delete those duplicate measures. Now this to list it's important because you can't delete items from a collection if you are still trying to iterate through a for each loop. So this to list, it creates a separate copy of your data, so deletion, it works safely. And then finally the output line, it showcases how many duplicates are deleted. So if I just execute it, it shows deleted 34 duplicates. I close this and save this file, and now we observe the data model. It had deleted every single duplicate that it has created. So this is how you can delete duplicate measures. Now this is one scenario where you already had some duplicates and you had to delete the duplicates. There can be a case where suppose you have created lot of measures, and then for some reason you don't need them anymore, and just as a part of cleaning up the Power BI file, you want to delete all the measures. There is also a way to do this. So once again, I'll just paste the script here and then explain you what exactly it is doing. So this is the script we are going to use to delete the measures using matching keywords. So first of all, it is again referencing to our measures table. Then it is checking if the name of the measure, it contains cells. Then we are converting it to a list, and then we are deleting that measure. Now you can change this cells to any keyword that you want. Suppose you want to delete anything related to profit, then just change this cells to profit, and once you execute and save it, then the changes should reflect. So if I just execute this, it says script executed successfully and 5 model changes. So if I just save this file, then it's going to kill all the measures where cells word is used. Okay, so it has deleted everything related to cells, and since the measures were referenced in some other measures, so that's why these measures are broken. But this is the way you can delete bulk measures, but make sure that you are absolutely certain about deleting a measure using a keyword, because something like this situation it can occur, like if the measure it's not directly used in any visual, but it might be referenced in some other calculation, so the calculation might broke. So this is another way of deleting measures. There is one more way. Suppose for some reason you want to delete some specific measures from your data model, that is also possible. And to do it, what we'll do is we'll use this script. So what it is doing is it is again creating a list, but this time we are specifying what measures we want to delete. So since we already deleted everything related to cells, what we'll delete is instead of total cells, we'll delete total orders, total profit we are good, and then total quantity. And then again the for each loop, it loops through every element of this list and then delete that measure. So we'll just execute this. It says 3 model changes. I'll just save it, and it deleted all these 3 measures. So this is how you can delete specific measures from your data model. Lastly, for some reason if you have to delete every single measure from your model, then this is how you can do it. So what it is doing is it is selecting every single measure from the measures table, it is converting it to a list and then deleting it from our data model, and finally will display that all measures are deleted. So we'll just quickly execute it. Okay, close, save, and yes, it took a while, but it deleted every single measure from the measures table. I think that is it for the video. And to summarize what we discussed today is, firstly we discussed like how we can plan our measures, what are the prerequisites to use Tabular Editor and to create bulk measures. So that we have seen. And if by mistake you created duplicate measures, then how you can delete those measures, how you can avoid creating duplicates, how you can delete bulk measures, also how you can delete measures using a keyword, how you can delete multiple measures by specifying the name of the measures, and finally how you can delete every single measure from your data model. So on this note, we'll conclude this session. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and do comment and let me know if there are any questions, and if you have tried working with this method, if it worked for you, if you ran into some issues, I'll be happy to answer all your questions. Thank you so much.